Good evening. I believe that we are here. I believe that we are on. I believe that we are live. Good evening. I'm um I'm excited to be here tonight. I've got a subject I want to talk to you about, and it's kind of like, basic metaphysics. Um Real simple and clear, but it came to me this week and it really said go ahead and do it. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Let's see. Calvin, Philip, and Steve are here. That's two people, not three people. Dana's here. Good evening. Good evening, Dana. Hi, everybody. With your niece. Your niece is here. Calvin, Philip, and Steve. How nice. Oh, I'm thrilled. Good. A new friend. Yay. Yay. Happy to have new people. Happy to be here tonight. Just happy to be here. It's been an interesting day. Peggy's here. Hi, Peggy. Uh, we have squirrels in our back and side yard, and we had them about a year ago, and we discouraged them. They come because we feed the birds, and the bird seed drops, and they have plenty to eat. We discouraged them about a year ago, and they kind of went away, and then they came back. And for a long time, there were only like two or three, so it was great. It wasn't a problem. They weren't causing any problems. And it's spring. It's spring. And now we have little squirrels. Lots and lots of little squirrels. Some so tiny they could fit in your hand if it was cupped. They could fit in my hand. So you guys with bigger hands. Some so itty bitty tiny. But they go up and down and over the wall and into the yard, and they're digging the yard up, and I could forgive them that. They're eating my artichokes. I'm having a little trouble being quite as forgiving with my beautiful artichoke plant that right now has one artichoke on it because they ate a whole bunch of them before we caught on to it. And now they're attacking the peach trees, both of the peach trees. Now I'm mad. I'm not going to go out and yell at the little ones. In fact, if we could keep just the little ones and they would stay little, it would be great. But they bring big ones with them, and the big ones and the medium sized ones are eating all the peaches off the peach tree, and that just won't do. Won't do. So we put a top on the peach tree, a netting, bird netting over the top of the peach tree, which is no small accomplishment for two short women. But we got it done. We got it done, and we sealed it off on the bottom, we thought. And Cax already found one squirrel inside the netting working on the peaches. They're smarter than we are. I know that now. I remember that from last year. Um, and for a long time, there was a littler one sitting outside the peach tree crying. Now, a squirrel crying sounds a lot like, what can I put? Imagine a huge American flag flying, or any kind of flag, I guess. I picture an American flag flying, and metal hitting against the pole. That's what a squirrel sounds like. So we've been listening to the squirrels and covering the peach trees, and prayer might be my next thing. Gotta do something. They can't have my artichokes. There's only one left. And I searched and searched to see if there were any more little buds, and I can't find one. I think they've nibbled them all off. So I may have to get God involved in this and pray for the squirrel's highest good and farthest distance. That's a prayer, incidentally, that works extremely well. I've used it on people before, for other people. I don't think I've ever done it to anybody. Well, I might have. But a friend years ago was wanted to get rid of her boss, and I said I can't do anything unkind. Um, but how about her highest good? And she said, and farthest distance. And I said, okay, I can do that. Well, it works. It's worked on several people over the years. So if you really want someone to move out of your life, but you want to kind of bless them on the way, or even if you don't want to bless them on the way, you should bless them on the way. It's a nice thing to do. I mean, those people all moved and ended up someplace that was just an absolute gift in their life and ended up happier than they had ever been, but they were removed from the vicinity of the person who asked for the prayer. So, there we go. Who else can I talk to tonight? Hi, Phoebe. Phoebe. What a lovely name. I love old fashioned names. Hi, Phoebe. Glad to meet you. I know it's kind of one sided, but we'll work on that.
Donna Wells is here.
Donna's here. Oh, hi, Donna.
Susan, yep.
And Susan's here. Oh, very happy that everybody's here. I just find things to talk about for the first few minutes while we gather. You know how it is. Everybody can't get through the door at the same time. Well, I suppose on the internet you can, but it's a good picture for me to work with. What did I want to share with you? What's on your mind tonight? Give me some ideas. Um, I know what I want to talk about, but we can get around to more probably toward the end of the evening, or you'll give me ideas for other Wednesday nights. So, what's on your mind? What's been what's been kind of playing on your head? What's been going on in your life? What would you like me to talk about? Um, how can I spiritually serve you? How can I do that? Let me know. That's, I think, what the chat boxes are all about. There's some fun people here tonight. Yay! Oh, I'm really excited. We're going to have a good time. Do you have squirrel problems? And if you found a solution, let me know. We have stopped feeding the birds for a few days, and that seems to be working. The grown-up squirrels, for the most part, are out hunting and gathering or trying to find a new location. I'm not sure, but they've left all the babies with us and the teenagers are kind of a pain. The babies are adorable. Cat wants to catch one. I keep telling her no. I don't think it would be happy, even in the world's greatest habitat kind of thing. She wants to get it a little wheel and a little bed. It's all very sweet, but they grow. That's the part we forget. It's like kittens. They grow and they become cats. And I love cats. But there is a point at which you can have too many. We got there once. We're back down to what I think is good now. Oh dear. Look at this. This is our new means of communication. It's a cat toy. Yes, it is. But it has a message attached. Message says, "Time to start." Okay. Oh, she's going to take advantage of that. I know she is. It worries me. She's cutting up pieces of paper. Okay, I'm going to talk. I know what I want to talk about, so I'm going to talk. And, well, I'm just going to start. Yes, I am. So I know Dana's going to know the answer to this question. I know she could sing it because that's just the kind of person she is. But some of you will probably remember a song that Michael Beckwith and Ricky Byers wrote, oh gosh, a long time ago. Let's leave it at that. Called Use Me. And one of the first times I ever heard it was at the Asilomar Conference Center that used to be what I called Religious Science Adult Summer Camp. And one year it was kind of, the theme song. Everybody on campus was singing it. And particularly one evening, there was a friend of mine, Pat King, who's actually the person who got me into religious science, used to head up the Asilomar Experience for Small Children. And they did a talent show every year. And it was adorable. Adorable. And the thing that Pat really did was she got the ministers involved, ministers and practitioners, but mostly ministers. and got us up on stage doing absolutely ridiculous things in this program with with the children. I've been a bee before, bee in a bee outfit. I was younger. I looked better in a bee outfit then. Um, I've been a reporter. I've been all kinds of things. Pat would come up to me every year and say, I want you. And I'd say, no, not this year. I'm not going to do it. And, on Thursday night, there I'd be in my bee outfit or whatever. Anyway, this one particular year, I think I was doing something with the minister, so I wasn't available to be in the children's show. And what Pat did was she got Vitura Papke, who had been Ernest Holmes' personal practitioner, to sing and dance with a group of very young children to the tune of Use Me. Vitura, at that point in time, was somewhere in her 90s. It was awesome. So we all sang the song along with them because everybody knew it, and the words were kind of use me, O God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all I must do. And the song goes on to say, I used to think God was the sun. God is the sun, but God's so much more than earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light. As me, as you, so use me, O God. I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I'm not going to go on with the rest of it. And you notice I'm not singing it. I'd like you to keep coming back, and I wouldn't if I had to listen to me sing. So, anyway, having said all of that, I have a confession. I don't think I've ever told anybody this. Well, I might have. I have a confession. While the song is very catchy, and if I could sing it, you'd really get that the tune is very catchy. And Ventura was adorable singing and dancing with those little kids. While all that is true, I never really quite liked the song, which I think is enough to get you thrown out of religious science. And my not liking the song primarily centers on the line that says, God needs us to shine its light. Do you see the problem? God needs us to shine its light. I just don't think that God needs anything or anybody. And frankly, I have my own problems and I don't need a needy God. All that having been said, fast forward several decades, and I was reading Unity's Daily Word last Sunday. This is the current month. This is the May-June edition. I check in on it every morning. And I came across this. Charles Fillmore wrote that God loves to be used, and the more you use him, the more easily you use him, and the more pleasant his help becomes. Now, please, before we go off into an argument about pronouns, which is not my intention, Charles Fillmore was perfectly politically correct when he wrote at the turn of the 20th century, when he and him were pronouns that theoretically covered everybody and were not expected to deny women anything, at least not by most of us. And we called God he for a very long time. Most people still do. And that could be its own talk, but it's more suited for an English class than it is for a spiritual gathering. So I just hope that most of us will readily admit that we don't think of God as a man or a woman. Rather a force and a power. The force and the power of creation. And the idea that the force and the power of creation loves to be used not only tickles me, but makes perfect sense to me. It also makes sense that the more you use the force of creation, the more easy it becomes to use it, and the more pleasant the process becomes, doesn't it? To really simplify the idea, and I told you I was going kind of back to basics tonight. To really simplify the idea, imagine that you have a lamp. And imagine that the lamp has a bulb and a lampshade and a switch and a cord and everything that you need to produce light. But it isn't plugged in. And no, it is not, for the sake of this evening's talk, battery operated. Okay, stay with me. It's a normal plug it into the wall kind of lamp. So here you are with a perfectly good lamp, but you can't read after dark. You can't see across the room at night. The lamp can't do what it is here to do because it's not plugged in, not connected to the power. Now, imagine that the power is right there, immediately available. There's a plug, you've paid your bill, there's electricity right there, waiting, in fact, for you to connect with it, to plug the lamp in so that the lamp can do its job. You with me? Okay. But you, owner of the lamp, are too busy complaining about the darkness, muttering because you can't find anything in the room, bumping into furniture, perhaps, because it's just too dark to see. Now, here's my theory. The power doesn't care if you use it. It certainly doesn't need you to use it. It might want you to use it, but its existence is not predicated on your plugging in the lamp or any other appliance. It's just hanging in there, waiting. Maybe humming. Does it need you? No. Does it want you? I don't know. Do you need it? Well, only if you want to do something after dark. Only if you want to stop bumping into furniture. Only if you want light or enlightenment once the sun goes down. Is the power happier when it is being used? I'd like to think so. Does it love being used? Hold on a minute, I've got to.
Your microphone is broken.
Is it?
Yes.
Can you not hear me, people?
So switch to this.
Okay. I don't know if that's that easy.
Should be.
Hold on, we're switching microphones.
Doesn't recognize it.
I can't switch it.
Okay.
Well, I hope you can hear me because I'm talking and I'm having fun with it. So, does the power love being used? Sure. Why not? And is it easier to use the more you use it? Probably yes. It just makes sense that once you've figured out how to use it, it's going to be easier the next time. And it will probably be more pleasant the next time. Because when we get used to doing things, they come easier and we're happier doing it. Okay, so gets old bumping into furniture, doesn't it? And trying to find things in the dark. So is it more pleasant with the light on? Of course. Your life just got brighter and fuller and richer. All because you plugged into the force of creation and it went to work for you immediately. Now, here's the really good news. You're not even going to get a bill for the power you use. No meter, no bill, no higher rates in the summer, no blackouts. This power is available 24/7, 365, and it's yours free, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, free. Well, okay, so maybe that's not completely true. Ernest Holmes. Boy, look at me. I'm quoting Ernest Holmes and Charles Fillmore in the same talk. They both studied with Emma Curtis Hopkins, so they both come from the same philosophical school. Anyway, sorry, I digressed. Ernest said there is a price to be paid, and it is to be paid in mental and spiritual coin. In other words, what it's going to cost you to have that power is your old belief, whatever that was keeping you from making the connection. Whatever that was. Maybe someone told you that you didn't have what it takes to plug in the lamp. Maybe an early teacher said you weren't talented enough to plug in the lamp. Maybe an ex-somebody said you didn't deserve to stand in the light. I don't know who might have told you any of those things. But if you bought it when they said it, it probably kept you from connecting. Unless you figured it out for yourself. What I also know is that some of us just forget sometimes. You know, we unplug the lamp to plug in the vacuum cleaner, and we forget to plug the lamp back in again, and there we are standing in the dark all over again. And then sometimes we figure it out. Just like I know you've already figured out that I'm not really talking about lamps or electricity or plugs. I'm talking about spirit and your life and using God to light up your life. It's ready, willing, and able. But you have to connect. You have to pick up the cord and make the connection. How? Well, that's up to you. What works for you? I can tell you what doesn't work. Whining doesn't work. Pleading doesn't work. Begging doesn't work. Imagine standing in a room and begging the electricity to make your lamp work. It doesn't work. Here's what does. Connect on a conscious level with the power. Pray affirmatively. Meditate. Journal. Go for a walk in the woods. Sit by a body of water. Water is a great conductor of energy. Find a spot in nature or find a spot in your home that is quiet. And fill the quiet with your prayer. Your affirmative prayer. Prayer that claims the results you want, not begs for them, not pleads for them, not tries to bargain with God over it, but simply claims what you want to have in your life. I am healthy, I am whole, I have that new job, I have a great relationship, I have partners, palaces, and parking spaces if that's where you need to start. But start somewhere that claims what it is you want in your life. Not begs for it, claims it affirmatively. Connect to the power in whatever way works best for you. Fillmore said, the power loves to be used. I think that's true. I know I love to do what I do. I love coming here on Wednesday nights and on Sunday afternoons and speaking to you. I love to be used. Connect to that power so that you are doing in the world what you love to do, so that you are being in the world what you would love to be. Connect in whatever way works. I'm not saying do all those things, journal and meditate and go for a walk and take your dog for a walk and take your horse for a walk. I'm not saying do all those things. I'm saying pick the one that works for you. Where do you feel the most connected to spirit? What are you doing when you feel the most connected to spirit? Brother Lawrence liked doing dishes because it made his mind free so that he could connect to spirit. If doing dishes isn't your thing, then don't do dishes. Find out what your thing is. Paint. If anything that absorbs you and focuses your attention, that you feel better connected to spirit, do that. Do that. And watch the difference. And when you're in that space, claim what you want to have in your life. Claim it as though God were the electricity and all you had to do was plug in to have it running through your entire life. Connect. Use God. Use the force. Use the power. And it will indeed light up your life. So, how we doing? How we doing? Let me check over here.
Susan's blown so many fuses on unimportant things.
Squirrel stew, huh? Love you, Don. Steve loves the song. Oh, well. See, it's a good thing I don't read these things before I just start talking, because then I would get myself in trouble. Oh, Steve doesn't like the song. I shouldn't say I don't like the song. I don't like the song. I like the ditty of it. I would just change that one line, and then I'd be a happier person. Um, okay, so everybody could hear me good. I will always keep the lights on for you. Good, Susan. Yes. And Steve, yes, we forget to plug in, don't we? Or we unplug for a moment, or we trip on the cord and it becomes unplugged. And I'm always amazed at how the last thing we check when something isn't working is whether or not it's plugged in. Is it we do everything? We turn it upside down, we shake it, we look at it, we turn it this way, that way, we do everything else. And then, One of these, I think it was a Wednesday night, I was chatting away, having the best time, until Cat told me that there wasn't any sound. And my microphone, this little guy, wasn't plugged in. Now, see, they just don't work well that way. They're designed to be connected to the power. And when you connect them to the power, they work like gangbusters. When you are connected to the power, your life works like gangbusters. Doesn't it? I think it does for all of us. Oh, let's see what. I'm sorry, Susan, your line about blowing fuses just absolutely is wonderful. I love it. Susan says, I've blown fuses on so many unimportant things now I only plug in on what I know is mine to claim. Good girl. Good girl. We do blow fuses, don't we? We overload the circuits sometimes. Usually not with our own stuff, with somebody else's stuff. I think one of the cats just knocked something over. The sound effects around here are always just great. So, questions? Anybody got any questions? Have some questions. I love to think on my feet. I won't stand up for it because if I do, my head will be up there someplace. But I've always loved the process of thinking on my feet. You know, when I went to ministerial school, I kept avoiding teaching classes because I said, I don't want to be a teacher. Never wanted to be a teacher. Didn't want to be a nurse, didn't want to be a teacher. The two things all girls like to do, I didn't want any part of. Didn't want to be a teacher. So I made a deal with God, I thought. My deal with God was that once I got my church, I would teach classes for like the first couple of years, but then I would train practitioners who were really good teachers. and let them teach all the classes, and then I wouldn't have to. Plan worked for me, I thought. And then I discovered that I really loved teaching the science of mind. Really loved those classes. Many of you have been in classes with me, and you know that I love it. There's something about just being there with real people, with real life situations, and applying the basic principles. Because that's what I discovered. It wasn't like I had to memorize a whole bunch of stuff and shove it into my head and then just regurgitate it, like a lot of teachers did when I was in school, little kid. But it was about being so grounded in the basic science of mind principles that it was easy to find solutions to problems because you just applied the principles. If God's all there is, and God's all that we are, because He's all that there is, so we don't get to say, except me, although we do sometimes, don't we? If God is everything and everybody and everything, I mean, even on that great big cosmic scale, if spirit is all of that and is in and through every single being, which I know is what Michael was saying when he said God needs you to shine its light. I know that. I know what his intention was. I just didn't like the sentence. So before you write letters, I understand what his meaning was. I just would have preferred it got put a different way. It's how I ended up being a minister. I liked putting it a different way. So, here's the deal. That which is everything is everything. Not just stuff out there that you can touch and feel. Stuff in here that you can touch and feel. Stuff in here that is creative. Stuff in here that is creative. It's all God. You're a place where God is. You are a spiritual being, a microcosm of the macrocosm. I could pull out a whole bunch of those, but you're all smart enough to know what that means. And if that's all that you are, then all you have to do is find a way to connect with it, to remember it, to not only try to plug it in when you think you really need it and don't worry about it the rest of the time. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to be bad that it's running rampant in your life and your mind. It's only going to be good. And it's going to attract wonderful things into your life, and it is going to keep calling you forth to shine your light, which is its light. And that happens more easily when you are consciously connected. Because when you are consciously connected, you look for the connections. You look for the light to be on. You expect the light to be on. All I have to do is go, get my hand in here, and turn the light on, and the light comes on. I expect it. I'd be shocked if it didn't, wouldn't you? Like starting up your car. You put the key in, you turn the key, you step on the gas, boom, power. Got it. You're more surprised if it doesn't work than if it does. Why don't we think about God the same way? Habits. Habits. We need some new habits. We need to take God for granted in our life. What if you just expected it to always be there? And expected it to reply affirmatively, since it's got a one-word vocabulary, and that's yes. Affirmatively. To all those thoughts and ideas that come from the Spirit within you. What if you just expected that? In the same way that when you flick the light switch, you expect the light to come on. In the same way that when you turn the key in your car, you expect the car to start. in that same way that you expect when you look out in the morning that the sun will be shining. Or know, once you're a reasonably educated person, that even though you may not see it, the sun is shining anyway, because that's what it does. God creates. That's what it does. It creates in the universe at large, and it creates in each one of our lives individually, in the way that we allow that flow to happen, that flow of creation, is to connect with it. And the Bible says pray without ceasing. We do pray without ceasing. We're just not aware of it. See, we do this kind of prayer, don't we? We close our eyes and we talk to God, or we do affirmative prayer, which is a little bit more outrageous. But we say, and so it is, or we say amen, and we walk away, and we figure, done praying. And we've just sent out the thought that we're done praying. What if we stopped thinking we're done praying? What if we just assumed we are always talking to God? Always. God is the big eavesdropper in the sky and can manage to listen in on every single one of all of our conversations all of the time, because all that we are is God stuff. We are the thing itself expressing. And if we are doing that, are we doing it to our benefit or to our detriment? Something to think about. Let's see, what else are you guys saying over here? Susan, we'd all be broke if God charged. Oh, thank you, Dana. Good question, Susan. Susan says, if I find myself not putting out my best quality of love and respect, why do I feel like I've taken many steps back? Here's the thing, Susan. You are always in God. So you can't take steps back from that. But if you're not putting out your best, if you're not loving at your highest level, and I don't mean every single moment. Good Lord, you should have heard me talking to those squirrels today. I'm not sure they would have thought I was being loving. I was. I didn't want them to get a tummy ache from eating my green peaches. But you can't take a step back out of God or from God. You can just forget. The lamp's plugged in, but you haven't turned the switch. So it feels like there's no power, but it's right there. It's right there, all the time. So when you feel like you've taken a few steps back, take a deep breath. Connect. Turn the switch. Plug it in. Do what you need to do. I figure plug it in is really take a minute. Step away from whatever is going on. Meditate, journal, go for a walk, do something to reconnect. The switch on the lamp is more like, oops, this isn't how I want to be. This isn't how I want to act. This isn't what I want to say. And I feel like I've taken steps back, but you can, one connection, and you're right back where you were before again. Not in the background at all. You just have to make the connection. We have to remember. Remembering is our job. Remembering is our job. To remember that the power is there for us, and if we feel like we've stepped away from it, then step back into it. Steve says we're always plugged in and praying, even when we don't do it with consciousness. You betcha, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We are always connected. So we have to watch what we are thinking because it's all creative. It's all. Peggy Bassett used to talk about going to the University of MIU, making it up. We are making it up all the time. All the time. If we want to know what we're making up and what's going through our minds, then we need to look at what's in our lives, don't we? Because our lives are the manifestation of our thoughts. If you don't like what you're looking at, change what you're thinking. If you do like what you're looking at, think more like that. You ever notice that sometimes in our lives we've got one area working really, really well and another area is just kind of slugging along? And a third area may be going just totally to the pits. Look at the area that's working. Think about what you think about that. Think about what you're saying about that in the world. Think about what you're saying about that in your head. Think about what you're feeling about that in your heart. Think about it. Recognize what you are thinking and feeling and saying and being about that area of your life that is working really, really well, and apply the same ideas to the area that's not working quite as well or the area that sucks. You'll change it. You will change it. We divide things into categories, don't we? Well, that's easy. That's not quite so easy, but I could probably figure it out. And oh, that's hard. So what happens is this is easy and this is not quite so easy, but we can work hard and figure it out. And then there's this area over here that we either quit on because it's hard or we never get good at because we don't believe we can be. It's all the same to God. It's all the same to the power within you. I have told myself all my life that I can't dance. So guess what? I don't sing or dance. I'm a great audience. I'm a super audience. I love being a good audience. And I am a really good audience. But I don't sing out loud if I can avoid it. Unless I've had a couple of glasses of wine and Dana's around. And I don't dance well. I can only go left. I don't know what that's all about, but it's been my belief ever since I was a small child, and I've held on to it, and it works for me. So, if I was a dancer, I could go like this and off the screen, and I'd have to duck down and come back around and come back on the other side because I'm going to go in one direction well. I'm very right-sided, so you push off with your right foot, which makes you go left. That could probably be fixed, and I could probably. Somebody asked Ernest Holmes one time why if this worked for everything and if he could cure everything, why he wore glasses, and his answer was because I can't see a darn thing without them. It just wasn't someplace he wanted to use his energy. He had bigger things to pray for. I've got bigger things to pray for than being able to go both left and right if I'm dancing. And I love being a good audience. I really do. We choose. We choose. It's always about choice. Donna says she had a puppy who bit into a lamp. Ooh. Was he all right? I don't know if I want to hear the end of that. How did that go? It caused him to be able to fly. Oh, I think that's a good metaphor for us. Plugging in. He learned a lot. Oh, yes, I'm sure he did. Oh, you guys are brilliant. You are brilliant. I'm just reading your comments now. I'm having more fun Yes, Dana, if a photographer doesn't like what they see in the lens, they change the angle of their perspective. And that's a brilliant commentary. You must have had a very good science of mind teacher. Several of them, I happen to know that. Yeah, change your perspective. Look at it from a different angle. Nothing, nothing is impossible, really. I mean, you might have to do it differently than you thought you were going to have to do it. But all things are possible because all things are through God. And to God, all things are possible. And you are a place where God is. So, ergo, all things are possible for you. Choose what's important to you. Choose how you want your life to be. Choose who you want to be. And then claim it. Claim it as though it were already a reality. See it in your mind as a done deal. Picture it in as much detail as you possibly can. Take notes. And every time you think of it in vivid technicolor. And watch what happens. Watch what happens. Miracles happen every single day. They might as well happen to you. Doesn't have to be hard. Doesn't. So, my friends, it's about that time. I think we should pray. My technical advisor over here seems to agree. The duck didn't fly in, but I'm getting a nod. So,
Can't make it.
well, come here, ducky. I don't think you're a duck, actually. I think you're a parrot. Here we go. There we go. Isn't he cute? Look at that. It's our little mascot. Let's name him Wednesday, shall we? Okay. So his name is Wednesday. He's got a clip. He's all ready to fly in with your messages at any moment. I'm going to let him go gently.
What about Sunday?
Hmm?
What about Sunday?
Oh, does he get to work on Sundays too?
Sure.
Help us think of a name for him. Although I kind of liked Wednesday. All right. Wednesday, wasn't she the daughter on the Addams Family? Or- That's appropriate somehow. Let's pray. Let's pray. I love to pray. So close your eyes if that feels good to you, if you feel safe that way. Or leave them open and just, let the lids kind of slide down a little bit in soft focus. So that your attention is within rather than without. Hold on, I think that's God calling. Actually, if I recognize the name, that's Amazon calling. It's Amazon calling. So here we go again. No? Techie person here tells me no. I've often asked God for just a little note, floating down from heaven so that I don't have to think things out. I guess God's using the telephone now. So here we are again. Close your eyes, soft focus, whatever works for you. See, it's all about what works for you. Whatever works for you. And take a gentle breath. Just a gentle breath. They often say take a deep breath, and I suppose that has value, but sometimes I think we just need to take a gentle breath or two. And let that breath take us within to that place where we know what we know. that place within us where spirit is, where creation dwells, where life lives. And let us know tonight that no matter what our job may be in the world or what our history may be in life, the truth is all that we are is God expressing. Each one of us individualized aspects of the divine. Each one of us with the DNA and the talents and the gifts and the thoughts and the ideas and the promise to be all that we are meant to be. Divine expressions of the One. Each one of us an opportunity for God to go forth into creation and be something it has never been before. You, me, we are all that. It is as though we are a drop in the ocean, and while the drop is not all that the ocean is, it is certainly nothing but ocean. We are the microcosm, the smallest expression of God with the power to create our world. Let us know that. Let us make that our homework for this week. That we recognize at every opportunity what we really are. And we come from that place in all that we do. And we speak from that place in all that we say, and we are all that we can be. We are loving. We are caring. We are brilliant. We are effective. We are wise. We are simply awesome. In each of our moments, let us remember. Let us continually check to make sure that we are plugged in and consciously creating the life of our dreams. I am so deeply grateful for the truth as it expresses through each and every one of us this week and beyond this week. So deeply grateful for the changes, the good changes we will make in this world, knowing who we are and what we can do. And I am deeply grateful both to God, who does not need my gratitude, and to each of you for making your world, which is also my world, a better place by your presence in it. So it is. So we let it be. Another wonderful Wednesday night. I love you all. I really do. Remember that we're also here Sunday at noon. Same place, same channel. Follow the link. All the talks, once they are live, are downloaded to, not only do they stay on my page, but they're downloaded to the Relevant Spirituality Facebook page to the Relevant Spirituality website, which is www.relevantspirituality.com, and to YouTube. So we're on YouTube and we're on Facebook and we're on Relevant Spirituality and we're right here. Kind of like God, I'm everywhere present, more or less. Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Phoebe. I hope you heard something that was good for you. Thank all of you who have been sharing the videos on your own timelines. All you have to do is click the little share thing and tell it where to go, and it'll go there. Share it with your friends. Invite your friends. Have them come. Well, no, I guess they can't come over just yet for a watch party, can they? It depends on where you are and how many people can gather. So stay healthy, please, please. Do what's right. Thank you too for those of you who have gone to the religious science. The religious science, it's in there. It'll never come out, which is not a bad thing. The Relevant Spirituality website. You can make a donation there if you'd like to. Thank you, Cac, and the duck, or the parrot, or whatever he is. He's a parrot. I know he's a parrot. Thank you for being here tonight. I've enjoyed every minute. Until we meet again, know that wherever you go during this next week, you go with God because, in fact, you can go no other way. Hashtag, you're blessed. Thanks for being here tonight. See you Sunday. See you next week. See ya.